six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 203 of the Drunk-Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh, hey, I'm actually doing pretty damn good today. Finally on the weekend, so I could actually have some time to just roam around, probably search for a couple of game or two or something, and then just get into something new, you know. How about you, Tyler?
I'm doing all right. We're recording on a weird night. Normally we record Saturdays. It's a Friday. I got stuff going on tomorrow, so I wasn't going to be able to do it. So it's kind of weird. Sucks. Gotta work tomorrow, but it's Saturday, so fuck cares about Saturday. It's usually lazy, kind of not lazy, but half-ass day. So drinking a few beers. Normally I don't like to drink so much on work nights, because nothing worse is being in a plant with no air conditioning and hungover at the same time. Well, then I'm doing okay. Kind of the same boat as you. Zelda's over. Just trying to find that next thing that kind of takes over your life.
Yep.
Gaming wise, haven't quite found that yet, but working on it. But also joining us, we have the man of the hour. We have Troy. What's up, buddy?
What's the business? Yeah, no, I'm busy as fuck. School stuff, man. 3 weeks.
Oh,
3
yeah.
weeks almost to the day till graduation. And there's still so much to be done. I think while I wrote one paper today, I have 4 more papers that I have to have written by the weekend.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. And then I still have stuff to grade. I've fallen behind on my grading for my teacher's assistant's job, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, so I've had like almost no time to game at all, but we'll get into that.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
See, now I'm at the point now where I have like things are slowing down at work. Working in like a chemical plant where it's a lot of farming, so we pack a lot of farming chemicals and stuff, and we build up a lot of stock in the wintertime and early spring. So things are slowing down on my end, so I got more time to game, but I'm playing less games now, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's getting nicer out. So
it kind of, you know what, Tyler, it kind of does to a certain extent, because at times I've experienced a lot of it myself, where it's like when you play a game for so long, like for instance how you and I were both playing Zelda for a good couple of weeks and stuff.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden the game's over. We beat the game pretty much how we wanted to beat it, and even going through trying to start on other games this past week, it's like, okay, let's see, I'm gonna pop in Horizon Zero Dawn, which yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of extent what I had been playing this week. I popped it in for about an hour or so like that. I liked the beginning parts of the story stuff, but I haven't really gotten into the meat and potatoes of the game yet, because it's like I need to be inside of a bed, like an actual legitimate like mood in order to play it. And after playing so many hours, like close to about 60 hours of Zelda, it's like I don't know if I feel like I want to play an open world game right now.
Yeah, I had the same problem. I did the same thing but reverse, going from Horizon.
Yeah, that's always tough to try and jump into a new game after you've spent so much time in another game. Like it takes a little time to kind of acclimate yourself, and sometimes you need a palate cleanser.
Yes,
something different, maybe something shorter, just to get the gears flowing again and everything.
Yeah, that's
before you jump into something big.
Yeah, that's for me. That's the problem right now. Like, all the games that are like kind of my backlog that I want to play, pretty much are open world games or very long games. And it's just like I just want like a nice 5-hour linear game. Like if Gears of War 4 came out right now, that'd be fucking perfect for me. Like something I could just play for a weekend and be good, and it's different. It's an action shooter. And now I went from Horizon to Zelda, big open world games with a lot of like hand combat going on. So, and bow and arrows too was a big thing. Both those relied heavily on the bow and arrow.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I was honestly thinking about trying to go out and find Overwatch for the PS4 today because I feel like I'm in the mood and stuff where I don't want to game for such a long period for like the big explorational type of elements like, say, in Horizon, do this and do that. I don't want to get into an RPG. I don't want to get into a major open world action game. I want to try to have something that's quick, it's something to the point. You know, essentially how I used to be going to Rocket League for my go-to, like, gaming stuff during the week. But, the reason why I've been thinking about possibly getting into, like, Overwatch or the PS4 is because I've heard a lot of good things about it. I didn't really have a chance to play it with anybody else, like, say, on the Xbox One when I did own it. So it's like, it just didn't... I just really feel like I'm just in the mood just to play something that's fun, spontaneous, maybe with other people, possibly. Yeah. It's between that and, like, Diablo 3 right at the moment for some reason.
If you get an Overwatch on PS4, let me know, man. I'll pick it up again. That game took over my summer last year. That was like every night, almost every night. If I wanted to, there was 3 or 4 people every weekday night playing that game. I could have played for 2-3 hours every night if I wanted to, and then the weekends I could play with the full party people and the only reason I stopped was just because of what the fuck, No Man's Sky came out and took over I didn't like that game. Everybody knows I disliked that game, but that game took over a good chunk of the people I played with in August and just never went back to it. So the only reason I quit playing that game is because I had nobody to play it with. So if you want to pick that up again, be more than happy to play with you, especially with all the updates going on. I'd love to check it out again.
Dude,
Overwatch is so good.
Dude,
it's great. Yeah.
I seriously just want to get like into a group of like a bunch of friends and stuff to start playing this game. Now it's like I'm in the mood where I want to learn like a new online shooter or something.
Yeah,
you know?
There was a lot of fun getting together with all the guys from the ship. Would get together and play that all the time. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I don't have a lot of issue, and which is kind of weird because normally I do have issue just jumping in and kind of playing a pickup game or whatever. But I actually have had pretty good success and have still enjoyed myself playing, with random people and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, that's just such a great game.
That game, I like playing it, but like if I was playing by myself, I can only do more, maybe like an hour of it, and then I just kind of get like, all right, put it down, or I would actually got sucked into a lot playing against bots, just doing like the training mode or whatever the hell it's called. And I just do that because I kicked ass in that, and that's the only way I kick ass in an online game is by playing against computers. So, yeah, it worked out. You got some experience points, not a lot, but and you felt good about yourself in the end. It's kind of a win-win,
Yeah, but Overwatch is good for that anyway. Like, I usually play a support character or a diva or something like that, where, like, I don't know, I feel like skill doesn't necessarily... It's not a Twitch type of skill, like a Call of Duty kind of thing. Right. And you can, still be, like, super helpful to your team.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, almost no game of Overwatch, even ones that you lose, like, do you walk away just completely dejected?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I always went for Torsborn because that fucking put that turret down. Oh, buddy. If I put that in the right spot, you can take over. You can win the game for your team with that character. So, and I really didn't do a lot. All I had to do was just wait long enough to get the turret, put it down in the perfect spot, and there you go. It does most of the work.
Keep it alive.
Yep. Get to play the game easily that way. You weren't even there. Just killed like 6 guys for you in like 2 minutes. It's great. It's like when I played Black Ops a lot with my friends back in the day. Like I hated doing team deathmatch because I was just a hindrance to the team. But we played Domination. I would win you the goddamn game because I was really good at being a bullet sponge and also taking over, hiding really well and taking the flag from people. So
yeah, that's how I was too. When I usually played like what was it, Black Ops or something like that, or even to a certain extent Titanfall, where I really didn't like to do the whole Slayer stuff or the whole 4v4 aspect and stuff like that. But if you get me to a thing like Domination, like with my gigantic mech or something like that, I just hid like inside certain correlation points and stuff and just tried to take out people here and there. It felt more comfortable.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess since we're talking about games real quick, I just want to mention you said you tried. I'm in the same boat as you, like you were talking about with Horizon. I've tried it like 3 times this week to start Danganronpa, the first one.
Yeah.
And I play it for like 30 minutes. I'm like, I'm not feeling this game right now. This is just not. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the art style.
It's a slow burn type of game, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it's just coming from Zelda and Horizon, where it's just like on your toes kind of game, to like you're sitting there and it's kind of a silly thing, but you're just doing a lot of reading, and it's a slow, like I said, it's a slow burn.
Yeah,
introducing a lot of characters at you really fast, trying to learn all the shit. It's like I can't do this right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's really all I played this week. So I've been, when I have played games, it's been Madden, like as usual. I literally just played a game before we started recording. So that's kind of where I've been going. What about you, Troy? I know you said you haven't played a lot, but have you got a chance to delve really in anything at all?
The only thing I've played this week is Mario Kart 7. And other than the 2 races that I ran before we started recording, it was on the Skype call with my daughter in Italy. But yeah, other than that, I've been super busy all freaking week, and it's probably going to be that way for the next 3 weeks. Just non-stop work and stuff to get everything done for school.
Understandable, man. Been there. We all been there, I think, before.
Oh, man.
Yeah, shit takes over. Real life. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being done with school. Hopefully I can have time to do things like watch TV or movies, or, obviously play video games, or read a book that's not been assigned to me.
That would be amazing.
Things that a lot of people take for granted, but like it's been 7 years basically that I've been back at school, and I feel like outside of summer breaks, because I kind of had a hard and fast rule the entire time I was in school, was to not take summer classes, because that was my time to unwind. So outside of summers, though, like I've been constantly in school for the last 7 years, and it's taken a toll. I mean, I'd maybe in the future like to go back and get my PhD, just to do it and to maybe become a college professor or something like that. But I think I need a break. I think 7 years is enough.
Yeah,
I would say so, dude.
Understandable.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing. Just some Mario Kart 7 this week.
Yeah, that's good. We're all kind of in the same spot. It's just different reasons, I guess.
The only other game I can think about that I possibly I played a little bit this week was Super Mario Run, which I bought that game on my phone. Super Mario Run, that almost like a side scroller-esque Mario game and stuff, where you're just basically going through levels and stuff. I gotta admit, man, it can get really freaking addicting, because it is so much a smartphone game in a sense where you're just basically just doing random touch motions and stuff like that just to make Mario jump and do all this other stuff. I'm almost through the entirety of the game, which it's not too long. There's about 6 worlds and stuff, and I am almost at the end of World 5. I've been playing it little bits and bursts anytime that I've been on the road, or I'm during my breaks and stuff that would work. And I have to admit, just playing a little Mario game, like a level every level or two every couple breaks and stuff like that, has been really relaxing. I mean, in a sense and stuff, the level structure isn't too long. You do have to try to collect all sorts of various coins, which they change color as soon as you collect all 5 of a specific color in a level. So there's a bunch of replayability in terms of going back and collecting bits and pieces here and there. I did try out something called Toad Rally, which you can compete against other people online. So I've won a couple of coin rush battles by doing it this way. It's quintessentially, I think I'm actually battling people in real time, because it's like I'm going through a level, all of a sudden the people that I'm playing against or something like that, they just keep failing hard. They're just falling at the start, or just going through and just losing all their coins and stuff. I think I literally beat somebody by getting 600 and something coins to nothing. Essentially. Wow. It's to the point. I think it's I was either facing a kid or whatever the heck, because, well, heck.
Yeah, I could see that being a really popular game for parents to just hand the phone off to their kid to play. Because I can't think of any other reason why somebody would get 0 coins in a Mario level.
Yeah, I know, I understand. That's what I pretty much thought too. But let's see, at the same point, there is a little structure thing you can do for creating a little bunch of little buildings. It's kind of like a part of a building simulator too, because you have things where you can build little toad houses, little shops and stuff. You have weekly challenges and this and that and stuff. I mean, yeah, the price of the game was $10, which is, in the marketplace for iOS stuff, it is sort of expensive in terms of every other big-name game is either free-to-play or 99 cents. Or if you're kind of a little bit greedy like Square Enix, is going to be like anywhere between $12 to $15 for their games, mobile, which that's fucking ridiculous. But, yeah, you know what? Super Mario Run, even though it's a light game and I really like playing in small bursts and stuff, it's rather enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, I played when it first came out on iOS like last December, and I don't regret the purchase. $10, whatever for it, but
It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I didn't even finish the game. I got like the World 3, and I'm like, I'm good. I got hooked on that Toad Rally for like the first week it was out. I did a bunch of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't care about building my Mushroom Kingdom. I didn't really care so much for the. I'm not really. I mean, I've talked about before with like Super Mario Maker and all that. I'm not really big into the 2D Mario games so much.
Yeah.
So, really, I like Mario games, but like more like the Mario Kart and Mario Tennis, Mario Soccer. I love Super Mario 3D World, but I'm not really big into any other Mario games. I've never really been sucked into them, so it wasn't for me, I guess. But it was if you like those kind of games and you like Mario, it's not a bad game to buy, especially for it's cheap. You could probably beat the actual, I guess, main campaign, whatever you want to call it, in probably like 45 minutes.
Yep,
Like
I would say close to about
levels.
an hour. Yep.
Yeah. So it's not my thing, but I can understand how people love it and get addicted to it. Yeah.
Good time waster.
Yes,
Definitely
especially. I was doing the same thing. I do like a Toad Rally here or there that first week on break and lunch. It's like I got like 5 minutes before I go back to work. I'll play a Toad Rally, do a quick one of those. But we talked about last week. We have a decent amount of topics that we didn't get to. Spent a lot of time talking about Nintendo last week. Not a lot about anything else. So I think this might be, other than Super Mario Run, this might be a Nintendo-free week as far as news. Well, fuck, there's one. There's one big one possibly in there. Never mind. I was wrong. Well, maybe we'll get to that one later. But let's talk about some Nintendo stuff first. One, this happened late last week. They announced it. Well, they didn't announce it, but they revealed a release date for Uncharted Lost Legacy. Got like a 3-minute little trailer. It is coming out August 22nd, and it's going to be $40. I think Uncharted 4 was your game of the year last year, Gables.
Yes.
It was my number 3 of the year. Are we excited for Lost Legacy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this going to be a day one pickup for you guys?
Probably won't be day one for me just because of my backlog the way it is, but I platinum Uncharted 4. I mean, I've actually got the platinum in every Uncharted game that's come out.
Goddamn.
Including Golden Abyss on the Vita. Hold on, sorry. I know you guys couldn't hear that, but that trailer just came super loud in my ears.
Wow.
Because I clicked on the link. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And like I said, you guys couldn't hear it, but I jumped. Yeah, no, so, I mean, I really enjoy the Uncharted games. And this one's cool. I think a lot of people, when they announced the price, like, there was a big kind of backlash about it. But from what I understand, this is supposed to be like a 10-hour long game. So, like, I feel like that's probably, not a bad price. Actually, considering that normal Uncharted games are, between 10 and 15 hours. I think $40 is a fair price, and it ought to be a pretty good thing. I mean, I have no doubt that Naughty Dog will produce a great product.
Yeah. And I don't get the whole backlash thing. I mean, this isn't the first game that's done it, especially for PlayStation, where they release a $40 game. To me, it helps kind of bring you down a little bit on far as expectations go. But on one hand, they could charge $60 for this, and this game will sell.
Yep.
I think Uncharted 4 sold almost 9 million copies on being a PS4 exclusive. When you're talking almost 25% of the PS4s out there sold, a person's bought that game. That's pretty good for any game in general. And they've done it before with like Ratchet and Clank. So I
think the big reason why people were kind of upset is because they were looking at this more like a what is it, Left Behind from The Last of Us?
Okay. Oh,
Was that
so
what that was called?
You're saying people thought it was going to be like a $15, $20
Yeah, people
game.
were expecting something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So when they came out and said, "Oh, this is going to be $40," like people just kind of like, "Whoa, what?" But I think what Left Behind was probably maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, if that.
if I remember right.
Yeah.
So like having this be 8 to 10 hours long seems like it's more in line with closer to a full game, and so $40 doesn't seem out of line at all for it.
Huh,
Yeah,
well,
they're definitely. It seems like they're putting their A game into this. Doesn't feel like it's a B team type of thing or a quick get it out there, from what we've seen, anyways. Go ahead, Gables.
Left Behind wasn't that either.
That's true. Good point.
Huh. I just really don't understand how people could have assumed that when they unveiled that Uncharted game and stuff like that it was going to be like some sort of $15 purchase. I mean, even from the initial trailer when we saw it at that E3 and stuff like that. Was it E3 or was it at a PlayStation Experience?
It was a
Might have been
PlayStation experience.
Okay, when we did see that revealed trailer and stuff, I mean, at no point did I feel that this was going to be a actual like $15 game that looked like a full-fledged actual experience in terms of like presentation, in terms of like other types of gameplay aspects and stuff. But yeah, as what I was going to like say and stuff like that, yeah, it's definitely a day one purchase for me, only because I love Uncharted 4 and the and to the extent and stuff where, yeah, that was my favorite game of last year. The price point's really attractive because it's not a $60 purchase. Hell, I don't care if, say, a game is like 5 to 10 hours long or something like that, and it's like $60. I mean, I've had no issues with that before, where I've played games, pretty much beat it in the span of a week or something like that. Maybe I've gotten a couple dozen trophies or possibly a platinum if I wanted to, but at the same time and stuff, that's a welcome change. And it's like you were saying, Ratchet and Clank was $40 brand new, and you know what? Nobody really gave a shit too much about it. I mean, hey, they bought the game and stuff. It's a great game and stuff, and I kind of feel like this is going to be the same thing with this new Uncharted game. So, yeah, you know what? It hits at a great time also. It's towards the end of summer, getting into the holiday season. So, fuck, yeah, that's a great spot for it.
When they first announced it, I thought maybe this was going to be like a Left Behind kind of thing, but once I saw the price, and then they said this isn't going to just be some 2-3 hour campaign. I mean, okay, I'm fine. It's Naughty Dog. They really haven't let us down before. So, and it's Uncharted, so they haven't made a bad one of those. So I'm excited for it. Unless, I don't know. I don't really know anything about Golden Abyss, but people.
It was good.
Golden Abyss was
hella
good. Yeah,
I've heard mediocre to great. So.
No, I thought it was amazing. Like, especially considering that it was on the Vita, a handheld. It was basically like a full-fledged Uncharted game, just on the Vita. It's kind of a shame that not more people get an opportunity. Like, maybe that's one that they could adapt to bring out on PS4, because I feel like more people should get the opportunity to play it. I think it was a great game, especially considering it wasn't Naughty Dog proper who did it. I think it was Sony Bend who did it.
Yeah, it was Sony Bend who actually did the development, I believe, of Uncharted Golden Abyss.
I mean,
I hope that goes.
I feel like they captured it.
I hope that does get ported over. I mean, Danganronpa 1 and 2 got ported to the PS4. I can't see why they wouldn't do Golden Abyss.
And then they did it with the Assassin's Creed Liberation game. They've done it with a lot of games. Tearaway, so it's been a trend to bring a lot of those Vita exclusive games over to consoles.
This is probably one of the most popular ones too, so it makes sense, I think, too. One of these days bring it out.
I know it wouldn't take too much to actually adapt the game for it, because they could just incorporate just a DualShock 4, the motion sensors, the little touchpad on it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be too much.
Yeah, the only thing that I remember that might have an issue is where you had to hold it up to the light to see through things and stuff like that. But they could
that's right.
Find some creative way to adapt that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're all on the Uncharted Lost Legacy boat there. So I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a great game. Just looking at Naughty Dog's past. Moving on. Next topic. Star Wars Battlefront 2. They had a reveal trailer. There was a 30-second trailer that teaser that was leaked a few days early than what EA wanted. But then the full one came out, about 2.5 minute one. No gameplay shown. Just a story trailer, and then a little bit about some characters and stuff you can play in the online multiplayer mode. Coming out November 17th. The campaign's actually going to take place over a course of 20 years, I guess. And you actually are going to be on the Empire. side of things, where they're going to be trying to avenge the death of the Emperor. Takes place, I guess, seems like going off the trailer that we got, it's going to take place shortly, basically right at the end of the events of Return of the Jedi, when they blow up the Death Star and Darth Vader and the Emperor, spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie, die. Basically them trying to avenge their deaths. And I don't really know how that's going to spread over 20 years, but that's kind of some of the things they've said in the synopsis. But I always get pissy, not really pissy, but I always hate when people get super excited for a game or for something when it's first announced and it's just like a CG trailer, nothing's shown, nothing's really announced for it. But I guess in this case, it's Star Wars, so they've got a pretty good pedigree as far as story goes. So I'm not 100% on board with this, but I am definitely a lot more optimistic about this than I was Battlefront, especially with there being a story mode. I didn't really give a shit about Battlefront because I'm not the biggest multiplayer guy, but I am. We're going to probably see some of this shit at E3. I definitely want to check this game out, but at least for the campaign. What about you guys?
I know. I'm just kind of a little bit tired. Pardon me. But the promise sounds interesting. I won't reserve any other judgments until I see actual gameplay of it. That's how I feel about it.
I have gone on record on this podcast as saying I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, so like I definitely don't geek out over anything Star Wars related.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer; it looked pretty dope. I think the premise is cool. When it's a special forces unit that had been sent down to Endor to help quell the rebellion, and then they're sitting there, fighting the rebels, and then all of a sudden they look up at the sky and watch the Death Star, blow up. I heard while I was listening to, I think it was IGN's podcast Beyond this week, and they were talking about it, and I think it was Max Scoville had kind of related it to similar to like a Pearl Harbor or a 9/11 kind of situation, where if you're the Empire, like that's probably an apt comparison, like if you're sitting there fighting these rebels and in your mind you're doing a noble cause or whatever like that, and then you look up and see this bastion of your power and everything like that come crashing down and explode, like that's going to be a real similar feeling. And so I mean, you got to imagine if you're in their position, and obviously the narrative that we've been fed all this time is the Empire's evil, but I think there's definitely more shades of gray that can be realized there, depending on which side you're on. Everybody has a justification, and the history favors the victors, so it's kind of an interesting concept that I think they could do a lot of interesting things with it. I know Battlefront itself was real sparse in content, but I think it's kind of universally known that they kind of nailed the Star Wars aesthetic.
Yes.
Both visually and through the audio and stuff like that. Everybody that I talked to who played that game, they said it felt like you were inside of a Star Wars movie, like experiencing the battles on Hoth and all this stuff, with the blasters going on around you and stuff. So I mean, if they can get a decent story going behind it, I have no reason to believe that this wouldn't be a really good Star Wars game. Like I said, I'm just not big on Star Wars, so it's not necessarily on my radar, but I definitely don't hope that it fails. I want all games to be good, so and I know there's a lot of huge Star Wars fans, so I want them to have a good game to play. So I'm pulling for it. And like I said, the premise seems super interesting. It's just, like I said, I'm just not big on Star Wars.
Yeah, and the whole idea of being in the I guess the bad guy side of it, it is really interesting. Like I said, that's actually really good. I didn't really thought of like that, being a 9/11 kind of or Pearl Harbor event for them. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Star Wars Force Unleashed, where you actually were Star Killer, which was Darth Vader's apprentice, and you were doing a lot of you're killing a lot of the good guys in what would be in the main movies, or fighting the good guys, and then throughout the game you change. But it was kind of cool being on that side of things. And seeing it like that's the way they're born, that's the way you're taught, and that's the way you're trained. So I mean, I think there's a cool place they can go with it. I don't know if they'll go there because it's probably gonna be a shooter game first, and a story game more story second. So who knows how deep they'll go into that? But if they go all in with that, I'm I think that it could be potentially a great story that they can tell there. Kind of sticking with Star Wars actually. There's been a rumor out there that a remake is coming for KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, which is a Star Wars game from the original Xbox BioWare made. I don't know if you guys ever played the original KOTOR. I have not. I tried playing it on PC a few years ago when it was on like $1 on like the May the 4th sale on Steam.
Yeah.
And it was, it was a 12-year-old game at that point, and it felt like a 12-year-old game at that point. I just couldn't get into it. But I know I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan either, but Justin and I have spent many of hours and probably over the days, if you combine the time, discussing and arguing over Star Wars. But I think if they could bring it into 2017, I would be more than happy to play this game. I've been waiting for a new remake or remaster or HD remaster, what the hell you want to call it. I'm definitely excited for the chance to play this game in 2017. What about you guys? I don't know if any of you guys have played this game, actually. I don't think we were talked about it.
Go ahead, Gabe.
Well, let's see. I have not really played it to the extent like some other people have. I've played little bits of it on, like, when I used to have it on the 360, and I also played little bits of it on the PC, but at the same point, I'd welcome an HD remake of it. I mean, it seems like at its crust and stuff like that, at the core of it, a great game and stuff, but I just could not really get into it because of how archaic some of the not only like the designs, but like the whole gameplay aesthetic of it, because of how like aged it's been.
It's like the mechanics and stuff. So I haven't played this, and actually, as we were sitting here, I was listening to you guys talk about it. I just realized that I have not played any BioWare games for any extended period of time. I started the first Mass Effect on PS3 maybe a year ago, but I don't think I finished the first mission on it. It was just something that I kind of let go by the wayside. So like I don't have a lot of reference at all, but I mean I know this game has a huge reverence from not only Star Wars people but BioWare people. Like it's kind of what put BioWare on the map, and it was kind of the blueprint that Mass Effect was built on. So I mean, it mechanically is it similar to like say the first Mass Effect, or
sort of like
was
that?
It like completely different?
No, it's closer to like a Dragon Age. I would say it's not like
still BioWare.
Yeah, but it's more
less action.
Yeah, it's more
kind
strategic.
of more like building the story out and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's more of a strategy kind of a game where it's not so much like an action turn-based game.
Yeah, so it's like more like your choices kind of dictating the way the game goes, but less than like the outcome of combat, as it were. Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of cool. Like I said, I've heard great things about the KOTOR games, both 1 and 2. I think it'd be a great opportunity for them to, bring them. I think it's been long enough since they've been out that it would do well on a new console. I think there's a nostalgia factor, and then just people, just interested in like people like me who never actually, gave it a shot. I mean, you always run that gamut of dealing with a game that's that old. Does it hold up? Even if they just update the graphics, it may not hold up. I know they brought both of them, or at least the very first one, they brought it over to like tablets like iPad and stuff like that, where you could play. I don't know how that translated, or if that maybe simplified things where you could really just focus on the story, which to my understanding is the draw of that game. It'd be interesting to see if they started from scratch and made something, made the same game just kind of with updated gameplay mechanics and stuff like that, or if it was just something that they spruced up the graphics and shoved it out the door, and whether or not that would be what people want. I know people who remember the original one fondly would probably relish that just to be able to play it on a new console, but I don't know that would necessarily bring in a lot of new fans to the series, because like if you're struggling to play it, I think a lot of people will just drop.
Oh yeah,
I mean that's a good point. Oh yeah, definitely. It's like you talk about Mass Effect. Like I feel like I can go play Mass Effect right now and be perfectly happy with it, but some of that, like if you try to play Mass Effect today and never played Mass Effect before, the original one, that game probably doesn't age very well.
Nope.
And the gameplay of that stuff was pretty clunky at the time in 2007. So definitely in 2017.
Yeah, I think when I get around to it, like I'm just going to like pick like an assault class and just kind of burn through it just to experience the story.
That's
like
great.
I'm not going to probably engage with a lot of the extra systems and stuff like that. What are they? I don't know what they're called, biotics or whatever.
Yeah,
like
the biotics.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
the special powers and stuff. Like I probably won't. I'll probably just play it like a straight up shooter. As far as like running and gunning and using assault rifles and stuff. I think the first time I started with a class that used like sniper rifles and stuff, and I realize now that probably wasn't the best bet. So I'll probably jump into it and play like an assault class or something.
Yeah, and you can actually, that game's fairly short if you just go through the story, you can probably beat that in 8 or 10 hours for being a big open world RPG. Not really open world, but RPG. Moving on, this is kind of the big thing that happened just a few hours ago, actually. This has kind of been rumored for a little bit now that the new Call of Duty game will be called WW2, but it was officially announced. They released a picture with what looks like a guy in the army, a soldier with that uniform and the hat on from that era, and it just said Call of Duty WW2, and there's going to be a reveal gameplay trailer, I think on the 26th. So would that be like Wednesday, I think.
I can't believe this is the first I'm hearing of this at all today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Yeah, Twitter didn't explode when this happened.
That was my facetious post on Talking Ship.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
hey
saw
guys, anybody heard anything about the new Call of Duty game?
To be fair,
Seems like they've been real quiet lately.
I saw that when I was at work today, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know about it until I saw your post. I'm like, what? That's a thing? And
It was everywhere.
I hadn't been on Twitter for most of that really at all. Like I was on for a little bit that morning, and then I was on for until later in the afternoon.
It's one of those things where, I mean, it's kind of a my doing, like my Twitter is almost exclusively like gamer centric. So I've got, gamers and gamer news, from different sites and everything like that. So when something big like this breaks, like it's just everywhere. And so I just kind of lashed out with that post on the Talking Ship, which was pretty funny.
I understand. 90% of my Twitter is sports, video games, and wrestling. So I get it.
Yep.
So it takes over my a lot of my social media. But I don't know about what you guys are on the big, like, I've talked about Call of Duty quite a bit on the show in the past. Like, I like the campaigns. Black Ops Online was the shit back in the day. Didn't really care about any of the other ones. But where are we on the whole going back to WW2?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Like I too, the only way I've engaged with any of the Call of Duties in any real manner is the campaigns. I got the platinum in Modern Warfare 2.
Wow.
But that really only required you to do the campaign on all skill levels and also the Spec Ops mode, which was dope. I really enjoyed that. I started out doing it cooperatively with my little brother, which was a lot of fun, but then I ended up getting a bunch of the last one solo, which was definitely an interesting challenge. But yeah, like I have never really been interested in Call of Duty multiplayer. I think I rented one in the Redbox once to play in a gamer night with I think Joypad and me when I was podcasting with them, but like I rented it at the Redbox and then returned it. I have played, I think the last campaign that I played was Advanced Warfare, so I mean I'm not too far off as far as like playing them, but literally I only have played them for the campaign. So yeah, I mean I'm down for real. I mean I've really enjoyed a lot of those World War II games on the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era, playing through like Medal of Honor and stuff like that. I know the experience of like doing the Normandy beach landing in one of those games where it like felt like you were basically living the opening scene from was it Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
I think it I think it's dope. It's been a long time. I'm definitely down to give it a shot, at least the campaign. Like I said, multiplayer I don't really care. So yeah, that's where I stand on it.
I just think it's kind of interesting that last year, what was it, EA with Battlefield what was it, World War
Battlefield 1. Yep.
Yeah.
And then this year, all of a sudden, we get World War II themed stuff here from Activision and stuff with their Call of Duty stuff. Nothing wrong with it. I think it's kind of.
Yeah, I think this has been rumored for a while. Like, I think people kind of knew this was coming for a couple years, even before Battlefield 1 actually got announced to be World War 1. I think there was, grumblings. People are like, hey, why don't we go back? People are getting kind of burnt out on the near and future, settings there.
Which is kind of ironic because that's how people wanted to drift away from the World War II games to begin with, like about 10 or 15 years ago, where because so many developers have put out so many World War II games and stuff that people were literally getting so exhausted of it that that's how they came up to our current little predicament right now, where it's like now everything is so different in terms of the first-person shooter sort of genre, in terms of like the military shooters, being it like futuristic stuff, being it like, oh man, just current wars or whatever the heck. Now that we're at the extent that we're going back to World War II, it's actually going to be a little bit more interesting and a lot more refreshing, because it all depends upon what Activision, and especially who's the company that goes over this, Treyarch, possibly?
Is it Sledgehammer?
This is Sledgehammer, yeah.
Yeah, it's Sledgehammer Games.
It's hard to tell, man. They've got 3 developers that are, rotating, which, like I said, since, Sledgehammer's had 2 years really to work on this. Like, this has probably been in the works way before anybody even knew that Battlefield was going back to World War One. I think it's just a sign of the times that people were getting burnt out on near and future warfare, that they wanted to see something from the past again.
Yeah, and it's kind of a tough thing. I mean, this has been going on since 2005, 2004. Call of Duty being like a yearly thing. I think this will be the 14th or 15th one in the series.
Oh God.
So. Not including like side ones like the one for the Vita and stuff like that, but
those don't count.
Yeah. I'm kind of in a. When Battlefield 1 was when that was announced, I'm like, okay, cool. Like we're going, like we haven't had a big AAA title go to World War 1, and I that came out, people loved that. And
it's really like World War 1-ish. Like, it's definitely not an accurate representation of World War One. Yeah. There were not nearly as many automatic weapons on the battlefield during World War One, but they're doing what they can to gamify, World War One, keep it interesting. I don't think anybody actually wants to play a World War One simulated shooter.
No.
Or at least most people don't.
I remember like someone made a Civil War game early in the 360 era, and it was in a Revolutionary War one, and it was. As far like the idea sounds cool, but in gameplay it doesn't. It was bad.
It was horrible.
That sounds pretty
Shooting
horrible.
a gun once every 45 seconds was terrible. But yeah, it's doing like these, I guess, somewhat accurate games, like war games. It's tough. There's only so much you can do. Like people got sick of the World War II stuff, so we went to modern, and then after 5 or 6 years of that, everybody got sick of that, so we went to future. And I mean, I'm kind of somewhat bummed about it, because I thought Advanced Warfare was awesome, and I think Infinite Warfare was phenomenal. I thought that not just for a Call of Duty game, just as a game, and for a story, especially in a Call of Duty game, was fantastic. I love the story that they told in that game, and in the game itself and the characters. Easily the best Call of Duty game they ever made. I'm kind of bummed that we're going away from that, but at the same time I look at like we have a lot of games that are doing a lot of futuristic tech, especially we had Battlefield there for a little bit, then you had Call of Duty, and then Titanfall was kind of jumping in there, and then you got Destiny, you got a bunch of, it's the big thing. It's the shooter first person shooter kind of goes in waves, and they all kind of follow whatever the hell Call of Duty is doing, and they're kind of the trendsetter. Like World War II, everybody started doing World War II games, and modern, everybody started doing modern. Then they went future, and everybody started doing future. So it's definitely tough. Where like they got to find a way to kind of see where everybody wants to go and not be. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited because I like the Call of Duty games, like the campaigns. I beat them all except for Black Ops 3 because that game was garbage. At least the campaign was. I'm curious to see how they do it because there's only so many times you can do the Normandy battle, There's only so many times you can do these big things, and after a while it feels like you're just doing the same thing over and over again. So I don't know how they're going to do this and do it differently. I'm
looking forward to next year when Titanfall goes back to World War II.
Yeah, oh dude, that'd be so sweet. We have Titans. Oh man, I think that's just Wolfenstein actually. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, ooh, actually, I'd be okay with Titanfall 3 being in World War II.
Or you do like a steampunk, like go way back. That would be kind of dope. Like an alternate universe steampunk Titanfall.
I'd be cool with that. Honestly, I love Titanfall 2 was my number 2 game of the year. So really, whatever Titanfall wants to do, I'm all in for, especially campaign wise. And I'm a big fan of steampunk. So
I'm a big fan of giant mechs, so
yeah,
Titanfall's always got the thumbs up for me.
If the SteamWorld guys will just make combine with Titanfall instead of making SteamWorld Dig 2 and just make SteamWorld Titanfall, I'm totally in. Just do that. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I am conflicted. Where the one hand I love I love some of the last 3 games they made were the best ones, but Sledgehammer made Advanced Warfare, which I thought was excellent. So maybe this one could be good too.
I just think maybe a little variety is good. It got to the point where all of you take the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, and the Titanfalls, everything was kind of looking real samey for a while there.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get a little bit of variety. You got old Battlefields at World War I. Who knows where they're going to go next? It won't be this year. If they release another Battlefield, it'll be next year. Because they're focused on Battlefront for this year.
Yeah.
And Titanfall's got the mech combat and all the jumping and wall running and all that down. So yeah, variety's always good.
Yeah, I think this is what some of us maybe more the hardcore gamers, not so much the guys that just play Call of Duty and maybe a couple of games a year. But for someone like me, I would love it since I got 3 studios.
I wonder what kind of effect this will have on that. You know, there are people who just play Call of Duty, and I wonder how they're going to feel about this change.
Yeah, because I have friends that still to this day they just they buy Call of Duty and maybe 1 or 2 big shooters a year. One of my best friends, he just plays Division, GTA 5, and the new Call of Duty, and that's it.
Yeah. Call of Duty didn't become super popular until Modern Warfare. That was kind of when that kind of blew up and playing online and stuff like that. So yeah, this is kind of uncharted territory. If you really think about it, those people who made Call of Duty what it is, a lot of them don't really necessarily have experience with a World War II Call of Duty. So yeah, that'd be interesting to see what the reaction is to this, because for them, the pace of the game and how it's become, going back to World War II, it can't be that. It can't be super fast paced, and it's going to definitely be slower, more plotting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
I saw one person when you mentioned that on Talking Ship about making it more of a stealth based game, which I would be totally down for. It would be totally against everything that is Call of Duty, but
Call of Duty, yeah.
But Infinite Warfare, I thought, was a big change from anything Call of Duty's ever done. So maybe that's something they can do down. And just like I was saying, I would love it if each studio they gave them a time. This is the times you can do
your era.
Yeah, this is your era. Thank you. And you guys get World War II to Vietnam. You guys get I don't know, Cold War and Modern Warfare kind of stuff, and then you guys can do future stuff. And I would love the balancing, because I feel if they just go World War II for a while in 3 years, and I feel by the 3rd game in 2019 we'll be well, they're doing a World War II game. I feel we're just gonna be in the same boat we are right now with future stuff. So
that could be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think I can't wait. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll probably talk about it next week when they do a reveal of the trailer for it. But going on to the next big topic. This came out earlier in the week, and I think this is something a lot of us saw happening probably about a year ago when they announced the NES Classic. The big rumor is now that the SNES Classic, SNES Mini, whatever you want to call it, is in development, and it'll be coming out this holiday season. We don't know anything about games, how many will be on it, but it sounds like it's a thing. We spent a lot of time talking last week and mainly upset about what happened with the NES Mini. Were we on the SNES Mini Classic, whatever?
Gabe, you want to blow up?
Blow up, no, but I was kind of commenting little bits and pieces about the news a couple days ago on Twitter, and quite essentially, I'm in the mood at the moment where it's I don't really care, because, for one, the NES Mini, when that was available, it wasn't even available to a lot of people, other than maybe a few copies here and there sprinkled. So at the same point, it's like, I look at it, it's like, if Nintendo goes on record and confirms that they're going to be releasing it this year, why would I give a shit? You know, because I know I'm not going to get the device. I certainly know I do not trust Nintendo when it comes to these type of launches, because they awfully bundled it, and they never even said anything remotely close to it being a exclusive, limited time sort of offer thing. I mean, that was complete bullshit, out of left field. The same could be said, could be like similar to what they would do for this SNES Mini, where I am pretty damn sure they're probably going to do like maybe 30, 40 games or something like that of some of the best on the system, which, hey, SNES is one of my favorite system, if not the favorite system that I like to play like my old retro games for. But even after all the other stuff, I really just would rather play it on my on either my my 3DS, my Wii U, or even like my actual Super Nintendo, you know? Because you know what, at this point it's like I was much more interested in going and try to purchase an NES Mini, just because I was under the impression, oh, it's going to be widely available for a cheap, affordable price. I can plug it in. Okay, I can get it as a Christmas gift or something like that. Instead, we got this stupid commodity shit that Nintendo looks like they may try to repeat the same thing this holiday season with the SNES Mini. And to be perfectly honest, nobody in the end is going to win out on this besides the scalpers. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So yeah, like, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. First of all, like, I mean, the NES Classic was super popular. It's kind of a no-brainer that they would make an SNES Classic. Hopefully they will have learned some things from how the NES Classic worked out. Hopefully supply is not as limited. If it is going to be limited, hopefully they communicate that. If they do communicate that, I look forward to having people robbing each other and beating each other up on Black Friday to get their hands on one of these. Personally, I would totally love to have one, not only just because I do have an NES Classic and I'd love to have an SNES Classic next to it, but I also didn't have a lot of experience with the SNES when it first came out. I went from the NES to my dad had bought the Sega Genesis, and then from there, the next Nintendo console that I had any experience with was the N64. So there's a big gap in my gaming experience that is the Super Nintendo. So like, I would really like to get my hands on one for sure. I think, you know, they have to learn their lessons. I mean, they're taking a lot of, you know, PR guff for how the NES Classic Edition was handled. Also, you figure whatever the reasoning for them to cancel it, whether it was because of the ability to hack it and add more games and stuff like that, piracy and whatnot, hopefully they can figure out a way to work around that, you know. I don't know how necessarily they do that. I don't even know if they know how necessarily they do that, but whatever it takes. The whole thing is kind of crazy. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's because of Nintendo Japan. Like, everything that Nintendo does is because of Nintendo Japan. Yeah. So, you know, we think about things the way we do because we're American and we're used to the way American businesses work and stuff like that. So when a Japanese company like Nintendo or Atlas, you know, does something that seems just completely ludicrous to us, it's because we're coming from a, you know, a different culture, a different, you know, mindset. So, you know, maybe Nintendo doesn't see anything wrong with the way they handled the NES Classic. I mean, Nintendo America probably does, but whether or not they have any influence on what actually happens, you know, it remains to be seen. And I really honestly doubt how much control Nintendo America has on anything that Nintendo does. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. It definitely should happen. Hopefully they handle it better. I hope to get my hands on one, whether it's widely available or not. If it's not widely available, like I said, I will probably need to hire a bodyguard if I can get my hands on one to escort me to my car and get it home. I'll probably take the back roads and, you know, double back and stuff like that to make sure nobody's following me. And then, yeah, but I mean, it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Tyler?
It's another case where I'm just kind of conflicted with it. It's just like what I am with the Call of Duty announcement, where I think it's bullshit what they do with the NES, but then you think about, all right, how like you said, like they got to do a better job. They're gonna do a better job of supply. It's like you think that seems logical to us, but it's just like it's Nintendo. For every cool thing you get, like the original Switch reveal, you get the Switch announcement or full announcement like we did in January or February, whenever it was. It's just like for every good thing to do, there's like 3 bad things, like head scratching things to do. Like, what the fuck?
Online functionality is a cell phone app. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of weird.
Hey, you get a free game every month, but you only get it for 1 month. Yeah, it's just for every cool thing they have, you get like I said, a couple bad things or dumb things or things that doesn't make quite sense, but they'll make a lot of sense to you. So I'm not going in with any expectations for this. Like I have the exact same feelings about this as I did the NES, where it's like I have no interest in this. I had an SNES back in the day. There's a few cool games on it that like Link to the Past, Super Mario World. I'm sure there's probably a few others I'm not thinking of. They put Beavis and Butthead on this. Fuck yeah, I'm in. But other than that, there's nothing that really would sell me on this thing. I'm glad it exists if it does in fact exist. And I hope people that want it get it, and it's not just a case where like scalpers are gonna come in and fucking take it over and sell it at a high price, and just ruin it for everybody. I hope I hope they go into this and they go in it smarter, and the people that want it get it. That's the only thing I passionately feel about this thing, and I hope that happens. That's pretty much it for me. Like, I think when we talked about last week for reasons why Nintendo canceled or ended production on the NES Mini, if this is in fact a real thing, pretty much destroys all those arguments for it. So like, oh, they want to sell the Switch, or they want people to buy the games on the Virtual Console for the Switch, or piracy. It's like every fucking electronic device in the history of man gets fucking hacked and almost immediately. I guarantee you the Switch has probably been hacked, and people are playing a bunch of games on that shit right now. So yeah, it's Nintendo, I guess. So whatever. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but I don't know. I hope, like I said, the people that get it, yeah, it is what it is. The people that want it, I hope you get it, and I hope you don't do some bullshit to get it. And that's about it for me. Like, yeah. But when the GameCube Mini comes out, that's what in 2019 after this.
But the Super Nintendo is the only Nintendo console that I don't have anything representing from now, because I still have an N64, I still have a GameCube, I still have a Wii, I still have a Wii U. So the Super Nintendo is the only one that literally is missing from my gaming experience. So like, I really would like to get my hands on one of these. And I mean, I won't be in school this holiday, so maybe I can afford to take some time off and camp out for a week, to try and get my hands on one. Maybe I can turn it into, like a story or something that I can, report to somebody or another, who knows. But yeah, I mean, I'd really like to get my hands on one just to have it. Super Nintendo, it's one of those things. It's funny because like I ended up on the Sega side, and in retrospect, that was probably not the best side to be on in history. Like Sega Genesis kind of had some garbage games. Like, I mean, I enjoyed them for what they were at the time, but like outside of Mortal Kombat, I can't think of another game that had like a decidedly better version on the Sega versus on the Super Nintendo.
NBA
and then
Jam.
As far as like quality titles, yeah, NBA Jam maybe, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's
Streets of Rage 2. I mean, come on, the game's fucking sweet. It's badass.
I guess
they make
I'm not big on beat 'em ups.
I'm not anymore, but back in the day, goddamn, that game was great.
Yeah,
my question to you guys is, in 2021, are you guys gonna pick up the Wii U Mini?
Nope. I'll probably stop with the SNES Mini. Like I said, I still have an N64. I still have a GameCube, so I'm good. Like on those. Yeah, I mean, I'll get the SNES Classic, and that'll be it. That'll be it for me.
What about the
They'll
Wii
probably,
Mini?
You know what? I could see them coming out with a Game Boy, like an original Game Boy with a bunch of games packed into it, and I'd probably jump on board for that too.
Yeah, I could actually. That would probably sell like gangbusters, especially if they put like the Pokemon games on there.
Yep. And like
Super Mario
Tetris,
Land,
like
to Tetris,
everything, yeah, that came out on the original Game Boy. Yeah, that would be dope.
What about the Virtual Boy Mini and all 20 games that came out for it?
No.
This one won't make you sick and hurt your eyes.
That will single-handedly destroy the VR industry.
Yeah.
No, that's not. That'd be funny though, because like everyone asked Nintendo if they were going to do virtual reality, and they're like, "Oh, we haven't, discounted it." They rolled out. They're like, "Here's our virtual reality," and it's just the Virtual Boy. Oh, that would be a Nintendo move right there.
Yeah. No. This honestly, like we're joking, but I think this is a very viable option.
That's Nintendo.
Yeah. I could.
That's
see
horrible, man.
I could see him releasing it like 2018 for the Switch, and they're just going to call it the Virtual Boy. I can see it happening.
It's all wireframe and everything. No,
I kind of want this. I almost
So
want
bad.
them to release something cool that we'd all love.
bad.
Just release Mario Tennis for Virtual Boy again.
Oh, that's so bad.
That game's dead. And Wario Land. The first Wario Land was on that fucking thing. Holy shit!
I can't.
Yep.
I can't. I just can't.
Breath of the Wild and Virtual Boy.
Oh.
Wireframe.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Wireframe.
No.
Have you guys actually played the Virtual Boy?
Yes, I worked at the game store, and I remember this guy traded in, and I'm like, I didn't have to, but I'm like, I told him I had to. I'm like, I gotta test this before we buy it. I played it for about 3 minutes. I played Mario Tennis. I'm like, this is terrible. I feel sick.
I remember playing the
that's
Virtual Boy as well. I got one in at the Goodwill, like in Port Angeles, like years ago or something like that. And there was this aircraft game or something. And I actually had a chance to play it a little bit, like during like my break. And oh god, dude, the whole aspect. I felt like fucking sick to my stomach after I played it after about 5-10 minutes. Ugh.
Resident Evil 7 for Virtual Boy. I'm in. This is getting better, guys. I'm selling myself on this fucking thing. I'm in.
No, I can't. I just can't.
Horizon Zero Dawn on Virtual Boy.
Oh, now you just ruined it. Let's not ruin it. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I would try it, but I'd hate
It
myself.
had 2 D-pads.
Yep.
That's right, it did.
It had a left D-pad and a right D-pad.
It
Nintendo
also had
and
a
their
left
controllers, man,
A
they're
and
not
B
good at
button
it.
and a right A and B button.
Have they
Well,
ever?
the ones on the left look like start and select, but they probably function the same as a left and right A and B
Yep.
buttons.
Since Super Nintendo, have they had a good controller?
GameCube?
Well,
GameCube was okay.
GameCube was all right,
Yeah.
and also, I mean, the new Pro controller is supposed to be pretty dope.
It's just
GameCube
a
is
360
almost...
controller.
Well, for God's
Oh,
sakes,
man.
GameCube came before the 360 stuff, so if you want to say something, I mean, Microsoft copied a lot of the fucking
Yeah,
hybrid
it's-
between the GameCube and the PS2 controller, dude. It's like,
Kind of a minor step up though from the DualShock 1. I'd say though. It wasn't,
Yeah.
like, great, but it was an improvement, but it wasn't. Yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah,
like.
dual analog sticks. That was the first, right? The DualShock.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, it all started with that.
Yeah. So I mean, it was not terrible. I'm not saying.
I'm looking at screenshots of Virtual Boy. This thing is a hot freaking mess.
It's a hot mess. That's why it lasted less than a year on the market.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
The guy
We
that
got
made the Game Boy got fired because that thing was such a bomb.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
that's how bad the thing was.
Wolfenstein.
Gunpei Yokoi.
Yeah.
They had Street Fighter.
Street Fighter was on that fucking thing.
That's what I'm seeing, at least. I see screenshots of it. Whether or not it actually exists, I have no idea. Star Fox? They have a Star Fox game on there?
I think there
No.
was like only 8 or 9 that made it to America, but there was like 20 in Japan.
These could just be like straight up like somebody decided to try and recreate what these games would look like
Oh, let's see.
on the Virtual Boy.
Mario Clash, Mario Tennis, Nestor's Bowling. Let's see, Wario Land. Oh,
I see
boy.
Wario Land.
And there was also like some sort of other like tennis game as well, but no, it was
Yeah.
a one
Yep.
tennis game.
That's
was a-
hot garbage.
There's
But I
a
would
boxing
not-
game.
I would not be shocked if Nintendo decided to re-release the Virtual Boy.
Dude,
That
I
would
hope-
be the Nintendo ass way to go.
I hope this is the thing. I'm in fully. $100, I'll pay it.
Playing at your
I'm in.
workplace, all of a sudden you just vomit everywhere as soon as the 10 minutes pass.
I work in a chemical factory. The urge to vomit is almost all the time anyway, so
Oh,
this is only add to it. So oh buddy. I'm looking at these games here. There's Nestor's Funky Bowling.
yep, that's what
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Waterworld? Yes! Oh boy. Oh,
Like based
man.
on the movie?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Holy crap.
Hey.
There is a lot of sports games. Stop barking. There's a golf game. Hell
Yep.
yeah. Oh my god. There's a GoldenEye 007. That can't be real.
No, yeah, that can't. No, like I said, I'm seeing Street Fighter 2. I'm seeing
Why are we barking?
what looks like either Doom or Wolfenstein. That can't be real.
It's probably not real. I don't remember.
I think they
those
just
either.
like, hey, this was what this would look like in a Virtual Boy. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm done. I'm closing this browser window right now.
Oh boy.
Oh, Tyler muted his mic because of the dog, I bet.
Oh, sorry. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna delve deep into this GoldenEye thing though. I am, yeah. Ooh, I'm excited. I went from super.
You're excited for something that absolutely doesn't exist.
Yes, I am more excited about this than anything the Switch might do. Right now. I will give up Super Mario Odyssey for this thing right now. Honestly, if
No.
we're canceling Odyssey. We're putting all our support towards Super Virtual Boy Mini. You just got yourself $100 right there from me. Probably gonna
They could do it as a phone app. I mean, you have headsets already that fit for a phone.
That's so true
No,
too.
I want the actual Nintendo Virtual Boy. I don't want some. You know.
I'll spray paint your Gear VR red if you want.
Okay. All right, I'm in. That's fine. Whatever I got to do to get a possible GoldenEye 007 game, Virtual Boy in my life. That's
Yep, spray
whatever.
paint that. And all of a sudden, you get like a little freaking kickstand or something on your microphone stand. You know, there you go.
I'm in. Cool. Well,
No, any new Virtual Boy would attach to your face. Like, it wouldn't be like the original Virtual Boy where it was mounted to the table. Like, it would definitely attach to your face.
if I don't have extreme back pain after 10 minutes, I don't want to play it.
I want the genuine experience.
Yeah, I want the whole thing. I don't want no half-ass version.
All
of
the
it
eye
at all.
strain.
Yep.
There's-
If I don't leave after the 5 minutes playing Mario Tennis and feel like the urge to vomit, what's the point, really? I want to feel like I'm in 1996 all over again.
There's a pinball game here.
There was like 6 pinball games. Half the library is pinball games. It's insane.
It's like 14. Made it to North America, dude. It's
I'm in. Oh boy. Oh man, this is the most excited thing I am about everything we talked about today. The thing that does not exist, I'm the most excited about. So, I think we're gonna wrap up the show there. It's a good point. Good point to wrap up the show here. So yeah, write letters to your aldermen and your senators and president. Send Trump a bunch of emails saying we want the Virtual Boy Mini. Make it happen.
And none of that will matter because it's Nintendo Japan who has to make that call. Not even Reggie Fils-Aimé can make that call.
Reggie can do whatever the hell he wants. Okay. What about Bill? Bill can maybe do it.
I've got my money that he can't.
Yeah, you can try.
I think Reggie doesn't call any shots.
No, but he's got that hair though, so I think that hair can get him places that we can't. So just saying. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to hear more from us, we're on Facebook. We have a page and group. It is Drunk Dash Nerds on there. So like and join us on there if you want to talk to us and know when the show comes out. On Twitter, we are at Drunk Nerds Pod. So follow us on there. That's another place to go when the show comes out. It's the first place it gets posted on YouTube. We're also on there, Drunk Nerds Podcast. So subscribe to us on there. We put the podcast up in there as well. Like those. Give a big thumbs up on those for us, please. We greatly appreciate it. Tell your friends, and if you're listening to us on YouTube and you want to have us more on the go, we're on iTunes as well. So subscribe to us on there, and if you can, leave us a review. 5 stars, preferable. 4 is fine. 3 is okay, cool. That's cool. 3, I like 3s. That's cool. 1 and 2, just keep paying for yourself. And also on Twitch, we are Drunk Nerds Podcast on there. Follow us on there, right?
yes.
Yes.
That's like 8 weeks in a row, man. I might have peaked in life right there. Maybe until I get next week when I get 9 in a row, then I peaked again. That's the one thing keeping me going in life is peaking on this, getting the Twitch thing right. That's keeping me going. It is my fuel. Anyways, once again, thank you guys so much for listening. I was your host. I was Tyler.
I've been Troy.
And I have been the legend himself, Colonel Gables. Until next week, everyone. Have fun gaming. Have a fun rest of the week, wherever you're at. But also, Get yourself a Virtual Boy.
If you want to be a legend like Colonel Gables over there, you make it happen. Give me a Virtual Boy Mini. Just if I get the one.
Does a Virtual Boy run? I'm gonna Google that shit.
You're gonna go ahead. You're gonna get yourself some Tetris, some
No, I
Bomberman, some Mario
don't
Tennis.
want one. I just want to know what a Virtual Boy costs.
You're gonna sleep with some Mario Clash tonight.
About $215 on eBay.
Holy! Oh, the first eBay listing is like new, excellent condition, $439.
Oh,
wait,
you gotta
I
check
didn't
that
see
shit
that one.
thoroughly too, because people will try to sell that shit in pieces. I know. I've been trying to shop
There's-
around for one for like a couple of years.
Bonanza
buy
has
it
one
now for $100
$480.
bucks.
Oh, probably without the head visor.
Yeah, there it goes.
It shows the picture. The $439 one shows it still in the box. It's even got plastic wrap on it.
Yeah, I'm looking
That's
at
more than a Switch, man.
And it's
that?
cheaper than the PlayStation VR.
That is, well, no, is it?
I don't
$9.
know.
What's PlayStation
$9
VR?
more
PlayStation VR is
I thought
$400
PlayStation
bucks.
VR was like 500 or something.
No, it's 400.
400.
Well, with
Okay.
taxes though, this is free shipping and no tax. So you take out, you put the tax into the PSVR, you're saving money.
Huh. You're going to throw up either way, so
Yeah. I mean, true.
choose your poison.
The doctor expenses and the medication you're gonna need after playing this game for 12 minutes is gonna.
It's the Dramamine prescription.
Man.
Oh boy, I am buying that right now.
What are you buying?
Good.
You fucking are not.
Oh, fuck no. It's like... Until next week, everyone, we'll tell you what Tyler does with his money.
Peace out.
Excuse me. Few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.